Streaming on both platforms. Look at that.
Yeah.
All right, but
Let's
yeah,
see if when
one
I
of these guys.
type.
Yeah.
When I type
Stream Deck. I can get it.
SDs 1, 2, 3. Oh, went on both.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. My
But-
juvenile message.
You can load up kind of whatever you want on a Stream Deck and just make a custom button.
That's nice.
So it's like muting microphones, changing channels, like turning on my lights and everything. It's all a button.
Am I blowing out the mic when I talk like this? Like really close to my chest?
You're not blowing it out. No.
Okay, cool. But this way I can see my keyboard and everything, which is a lot easier. Cool. All right, let me pull up our news stories, news that matters to us.
News that matters to who?
Just you and me.
That's cool. And that's how we start the show, just like that.
You're like, welcome to the Let's Game Already podcast, where we discuss news that only matters to us.
That's right. Hopefully a few other people. It'd be nice to have some subscribers. As you can see, we already spammed chat with a bunch of hellos.
SDs.
Yeah, it's true. So how you been, Vern?
Are we recording now?
Yeah, this is it. This is the show.
This is the podcast. Do we have a number? Is this our third episode?
3?
Yeah.
I believe this is the third.
Shouldn't we welcome everyone to the Let's Game Already podcast, episode number 3?
We can.
Yeah.
Welcome to.
You're one of the hosts.
I am one of the hosts.
Dustin.
My name is Dustin.
I'm a
People
host as well.
Call me Dustin.
Yeah, I'm a host as well. You can call me Vern.
Man, that was funny the other day. Inside joke. Vern's name is
Which
Vern.
one?
You know
What are you talking
Vern?
about? Well, yeah,
but
what do you mean?
Ernest,
like what came up?
What Ernest Wild? What is his name?
Are you talking about oh, I can't think of that actor's name.
People are killing us. Whoever's listening to the show.
Jim Varney. Jim Varney.
Yeah.
That's his name.
He was such a big part of our childhood. Like people I feel like people in our age bracket know exactly who we're talking about. He did a bunch of fucking weird commercials.
Yeah, it was natural gas commercials.
Yeah. But he did a bunch of kids movies where Ernest owns a landfill, or Ernest owns.
There was Ernest Goes to Jail.
Yeah.
Ernest Saves Christmas. Wasn't that another one too?
Yeah, that was another one. But he just did weird movies.
I think
he capitalized the hell out of that whole thing.
I think we got to look at his filmography just to double check.
This was not planned, by the way. We actually we wrote stuff down. Well, Vern did.
All right, so
me on the other hand,
we have here's his big movies. Ernest Goes to Camp. That was a big one back in '87. I saw that in the theaters. Ernest Saves Christmas was in 1988. Ernest Goes to Jail. Ernest Scared Stupid. Ernest Goes to School. Ernest Rides Again. Ernest Goes to Africa. Ernest in the Army. And I think Ernest in the Army was the conclusion of the Ernest series. Yeah. Unfortunately,
I got to see if I can buy all those movies.
Dude, you need to. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I need those movies, Vern.
You need those movies. Those would be some good movie nights, right?
Yeah, they'd be kind of the perfect movie nights.
Watch every Ernest movie
in sequence. Like we can't watch them out of order. It needs to be from the beginning to the end.
Oh yeah, he had the TV show. Remember? Hey Vern, it's Ernest. Dude, I remember that. I watched that when I was a kid. Badass, dude.
Yes, yeah. Got to look into buying the Ernest filmography.
But I'm pretty sure it was natural gas commercials, right?
I think We looked it up one night in party chat, and I think he did more than just natural gas. But
Oh my god, he was in more than 2,600 advertisements.
it's amazing,
dude. That's Ernest P. Worrell. That's the name of the guy. And his cameraman was named Vern. So that's why he always said, "You know what I mean, Vern?" Because he was always talking to the cameraman, you know? So as a child in school, naturally, whenever someone found out my name was Vernon, they would say, "You know what I mean, Vern?" I was like, yeah, I get it. And by the time I was 20, it's just like, gosh. But then by the time I was 30, I didn't really hear it much anymore. No one cared about it anymore. So it's getting kind of nice to not have to worry about that.
Wait a second. Because I always hear people claim that they were the first one to build. Because you know how you got the MC universe, you got DC universe, then you got. I heard Kevin Smith claim that he had the Kevin Smith universe even before them, where all his movies connected. I think Ernest actually predates, because all these movies connect.
Wait, what connects to what?
Like all the Ernest movies.
Oh, okay.
So this the Ernest universe.
The Ernest verse, the Ernie verse.
The Ernie verse is
Ernie verse.
Is the original group of like universe of movies.
We should do another podcast all about Ernest movies and call it Masters of the Ernieverse.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty awesome, right? But anyway, he did commercials for like a ton of different companies. So the ones I grew up seeing were for natural gas because of the location I live, since I grew up in the New Orleans area. So I think it just depends on where you lived, what commercials you saw, you know, since they were all kind of regional. But yeah, that's not about video games at all, is it?
No, but I can tell you one thing. Ernest got paid.
Ernest
got paid.
He did.
I'm curious what his net worth is. I'm sorry. I'm on a rabbit hole, and
too bad. Like, I wonder if Jim Varney would have liked Game Pass.
Probably would have. Okay, I guess. Guess we can move on to games.
Yeah. I don't think he played video games, unfortunately. He's a cool dude,
$12 million. There it is. His net worth. $12 million.
Did you know he held a convention in Houston called 1,000 Verns? And what he did was he invited a bunch of people named Vernon to come to this convention, and they all just hung out together because he wanted to get as many people named Vernon as he could into one location. Or Vern, you know. So it's not restricted to my name, Vernon. It's also, you know, he could be a Vernell, you know, who's also called Vern. You can be just Vern, you know. Maybe if your last name is Vern with an E, you know, like at the end. So, but as long as Vern is in that name, you are allowed to show up. I wonder, there's probably even females there, you know, like Laverne, you know. So, yeah, that would have been fun, man. I missed out on it. I found out about it like I was working as a teller or something, and some guy came up and he's like, "Your name's Vern? You ever heard about that 1,000 Verns convention?" It's like, damn, I missed it. Could have gone. Met other people like me. But anyway, it's a little. What you been playing, Dustin?
That's the big news of the week. I got a new TV, so I've been playing a little ton of stuff.
Yeah, what TV you got?
I got an LG C1 65-inch OLED.
Just one of those TVs, you know, nothing special.
This awesome, beautiful TV, and guess what I had to deal with today, Vern?
What?
Dolby Atmos and Arc are not friends. So
no,
right now,
not. There's a delay. There's lag a lot of the time.
Serious, like 600 millisecond delay. Like it is.
Yeah. So if you try
brutal.
if you try to run it through your TV, you're gonna have a delay.
But here's the issue.
Yeah.
Unless you buy like it was $5.99 for the new Denon. And it allows for VRR pass through and 120, everything. And it does it, and it fixes the issue.
Right.
But I don't want to change out my receiver, which means
Yeah.
right now I got stereo audio coming out of my
No,
receiver.
you should just be able to do PCM 7.1, right?
It doesn't play nice. Not a fan. The Xbox is not a fan.
No, it does for there might be a setting you're missing. I don't
Probably.
know.
I'll play
There's
with
a
it some
certain
more. I know people
we'll
don't want to
figure
hear
it out
about it.
later.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out later. But outside of that, what do you think of the TV?
Oh, it's great. It's beautiful. And I don't that's
Mm-hmm.
to me that's not a TV issue. That's just how that shit runs. But
Well, the new HDMI 2.1 spec's just a mess right now.
yeah.
They got to
And
get all that sorted out.
I'll end up buying that $600 receiver eventually. I want to get.
It's not going to always be 600.
No, it won't. But it's that they're the ones we were talking about on, I believe, a previous version of this podcast called Xbox Uncut. But where it's the 2022,
which unfortunately has been cut.
Yeah, the 2022 releases, I guess, of receivers this year, or the late 2021 ones, do have the full HDMI 2.1 spec. So
yeah, just wait a year.
Yeah.
It'll all be good. But yeah,
but I kind of like having everything run through the TV and not through a receiver.
It's never going to get fixed, though. It's an issue with LG. They have an issue with audio lag, specifically with Dolby Atmos. You don't have the same issue with PCM. So if we can get that working for you, it'll still sound pretty good and not have any issues, But yeah, if you want Atmos, you're going to be mainly using it when you watch movies rather than when you play games.
And then I'll eventually get the receiver. The receiver will take the signal, process the audio, and send the VRR 120 4K to the TV.
And you'll be set.
Yeah.
And you'll be set. But what you been playing on it?
Man, Geometry Wars. Geometry Wars. Yeah, that's the game.
Yeah.
That game, especially with the Series X having the auto HDR, brightens everything up, but also has that pure black background of the space, and it's all the vibrant colors and
sexy.
Even without, when I came and visited you and was playing on your OLED, even without HDR, it's probably one of the most impressive images on an OLED display, just because of the contrast of pure black,
solid black,
and just explosive neon colors, and it's just it's amazing looking. But other than that,
we need Geometry Wars 4.
Yeah,
because it would come out day one on Game Pass.
I have a feeling they will do it though.
They got to do it, man. They got to do it. It's time.
Because a full 120 4K HDR Geometry Wars would be pretty fucking neat.
And keep it simple, Don't go too crazy with it.
Yeah, but that's what made Retro Evolved and all the Geometry Wars 2 and Retro Evolved. Those were all good because they didn't jump the shark with the different modes. You had Pacifism, King. There were some cool modes in there, but it wasn't too out of place. It's Geometry Wars 3 that tried to do 3-dimensional Geometry Wars that really...
it would be amazing? What's his name? Tetsuya Mitsuguchi? The guy who used to work for Sega, and then he started Q Entertainment, and then he started Enhance Incorporated, which worked on Tetris Effect.
Okay.
Could you imagine if Microsoft used the Geometry Wars IP and did a Tetris Effect kind of thing with Geometry Wars? So each level was a different song with different effects. How cool would that be?
That'd be fucking dope.
That'd be the ultimate game, right?
It would be. Geometry Wars is so much fun because of the simplicity.
Thought of this. Yeah, but imagine a different song every 2 minutes or something, or whenever you get to a certain score, it then switches to a new track with kind of different effects to kind of feel like you're getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the session.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool, man. It would work just like Tetris does in a lot of ways, how things get faster and faster. In Geometry Wars, the stakes get higher and higher because more enemies come on screen. And, and every time you do a little bomb or explosion, it could do something cool with the sound effects and how it works with the music. That would be the ultimate game, I think, for that kind of experience that Tetsuya Mitsuguchi likes to work on, you know? Shit. I gotta figure out how to get this idea out there, Dustin.
We need to make it happen.
I want this game now.
I have an
I want this
idea.
game.
I was talking to somebody about the DC universe, and I want your
Okay.
take. We'll talk about. I guess we can talk about it now. It's not video game related.
Dude, this is our podcast. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about.
So I want your take on this because you're not the biggest DC fan. And I think if I could win you over, I can win anybody over with this. I think this is a brilliant idea. And I always thought this was a bad idea until somebody like kind of flipped me on it.
Uh-huh.
You restart the DC universe.
All right.
But you start it with a villain movie. You start it with Lex Luthor's origin story. Okay. No Superman, no nothing, just Lex Luthor.
Okay.
And through the arc of the movie, you see him like go from this kind of okay kid, he gets up, because Lex Luthor's story, he starts off with an abusive father, he grows up, becomes a billionaire. So you have the Elon Musk rise of Lex Luthor, right?
Right.
And
so
then
this is
he slowly breaks down and becomes kind of an evil person.
So Smallville.
Yeah, but no Superman. He's not in it. Right. He's in it for 1 frame, essentially, or 10 frames, like in my opinion, and it's at the very end of the movie. But it's law-abiding citizen, the movie done right, where Lex Luthor is the bad guy that wins. And the twist is by the end, you notice that he planned this shit since the fucking beginning, and he's just a ruthless person.
And he was evil all along.
And he was kind of evil all along. It's still like you saw his arc of becoming this villain.
Okay.
And then you end the movie with him looking at the TV, and there's just a headline banner, "Man Can Fly." And it shows Superman in his cape, and that you credits it. You don't put Superman in, you don't show his face, you can just have like the silhouettes of him on the TV. That's how you connect it to... That's how you give that, like, yeah, Superman exists, whatever. But you don't... Like Superman didn't make Lex Luthor. And he doesn't... You don't have to have the baggage of, like... Why is Superman letting him get away with this? Or why is this... You just make the law-abiding citizen movie where you show a man kind of break down and become more and more...
It could be a cool, like, heist-type film, too.
Yeah.
That maybe introduces other superhero characters before they became superheroes.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's not a superhero movie.
Right.
Until that last, like, 10 frames where Man Can Fly, or whatever is the headline.
Yeah.
With Metropolis and... That's where you can kind of have your arc.
But they'd have to be very clear with the idea that this is the beginning of the new DC universe for multimedia, or for movies or whatever, because otherwise, I think that's the kind of movie that could become a Joker type movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. More like that style of like, yeah, Batman exists technically in the Joker's universe. It is going to happen, but that's not the point of that movie. The point is Joker.
They should just make the DC villains universe instead. That would be cooler.
Because they try to do it with Harley Quinn, and Harley Quinn's a cool character. I love Harley Quinn, but the movie's bad. Like, it's just not. It's a comedy.
Well, that's been the problem with DC Universe. They've had some really great movies, like Joker. You know, they've had some really bad movies,
like Suicide Squad 1.
Exactly.
I think that's the worst DC movie, by the way.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Like when
But that's what happens when you throw, like,
the end when Will
directors
Smith's character shoots the gun and doesn't say like love on it or something stupid like that. I don't remember. It was something stupid, and I like cracked up laughing in the theater, and everyone looked at me like I was weird. I was like, "Come on, this is the dumbest thing that's ever existed," But I feel like DC has had some good movies and some really big stinkers, whereas Marvel has had a lot of above average movies.
I would say they've had mediocre at worst.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
and some really good ones too.
Yeah, they've had great and they've had mediocre. And
I feel like DC's had some real highs and some real lows. Marvel's had some pretty good highs and a lot of mediocre. So nothing ever was so bad that you wanted to stop watching the movies. Yeah.
I would say the issue with, and not to switch the subject too much, but the issue I have with modern Marvel is they don't earn the watch time anymore, because it's too much references building up the next Marvel movie and not enough movie about like the current characters.
Yeah.
Like it's all about going, hey, look at this guy. He's coming. He's going to get his own movie. And look at this guy. And
Well,
that's their little down. I would say that's the only issue I have with Marvel movies right now is they're
but
trying to
Marvel did
reference
it
too
right
much.
leading up to the first Avengers movie.
They did.
Marvel said, okay, we're going to do an Iron Man movie. We're going to do a Hulk
The
movie.
problem now
We're
is
going to
that they're
do a Thor
replacing all
movie.
those characters that
Oh
you've
yeah, for
watched.
sure.
Yeah.
And then they did Captain America. So you're introduced to all these characters. Now let's throw them together. With DC, they did Superman, and then suddenly they did Superman versus Batman.
Yeah.
And then they
no. But
went,
you got to be fair. See, if it was just Superman versus Batman, I'd argue and say that's not too crazy. But they did the death of Superman. No, they did the death of Superman. They did Batman v Superman. They did half a Justice League all in one movie. And it was just like, guys, like you shot your load. Like this is like 5 movies worth of stuff.
What we wanted was Superman origin story, right?
Yeah.
We wanted a Batman origin story, right? We wanted
honestly,
a Wonder Woman
and I know you're
story.
not the biggest fan of Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Man of Steel 2. Like, I wanted a follow-up of that movie, not fucking Batman.
Well, what I would have liked is Man of Steel, maybe a Batman, maybe an Aquaman, maybe a Wonder Woman.
Or what I mean, not in the same movies.
2.
I'm saying Batman v Superman should have just been Man of Steel 2. It shouldn't have been a Batman v Superman movie. So you do Man of Steel 2, you do a Batman. Yeah, like you said, I have no problem setting up Superman.
Because Iron Man 2 came out before the Avengers even came out.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't it? I think it did, right?
Yeah.
First Avengers? I think there had already been 2 Iron Man movies, right? I could be wrong.
No, I'm pretty positive there were 2 Iron Mans. Iron Man 2 had already hit.
Yeah. So they could have done something like that. Had 2 Superman movies, a Batman, a Wonder Woman, and a Aquaman.
Because you have more to explain with Superman. Like if you're
and then do Justice League.
People ignorant, yeah.
And then do Justice League. But they didn't do that.
And then you do Flash and do whatever afterwards.
Yeah. And then you have a second Justice League movie with all the new characters you've introduced. And they just didn't do that. And they just they rushed it. Me and
my friend were talking about this while I was at work today. And it was just like, yeah, it would make perfect sense. Reset the whole fucking thing because it's a disaster at this point. And not because I like Aquaman. The movies, they're fun movies, and they're wrapping up production on the latest one, and so we'll have another.
Yeah, the
Aquaman.
First movie was fantastic.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with casting the same people in those roles. I mean, it's hard to redo the whole thing and cast the.
I hope the sequel's good. I hope it's not as bad as Wonder Woman 1984, which was.
It was just a woke mess, and I don't care what side. It was just too much politics and not enough substance.
See, I don't even care about the political thing. That's something I don't even want to talk about. To me, it was just a terrible movie. And I mean, you can just see it right away in the beginning. The CG was some of the worst CG I've ever seen in an expensive film. I couldn't believe how bad it was for the year it came out. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe it was because it was in post-production during COVID-19 for a bit, wasn't it?
No, but the writing was just because I'll forgive most of that shit. The writing was just bad. Like I didn't care, and I don't care what anybody.
Says. They worked really hard to bring back the characters from the first movie for no reason.
I didn't like the motivation of the characters. I didn't like it. Was just
the villain was terrible.
Yeah,
and what sucks is it was a good actor for the villain, you know, but the villain was bad. So it's like you look at the cast and you're like, oh wow, this is gonna be awesome, you know, and it's like, okay, they got the same writer and director back. You're like, yeah, this is gonna be great, right? Just nope.
No,
I hated it. I would put it as almost as bad as Suicide Squad, honestly.
No, I can't do that.
Really?
Can't do it. No. Suicide Squad is to me one of the I thought. Wonder Woman 1984, whatever the fuck it was titled, was bad.
I think it's WW84 is how they
Yeah, but it's a bad movie. But I on a scale of 1 to 5, a 3. You can stomach it, but you know, I wouldn't recommend everybody going to see it.
I'd give it a 2
Suicide
at best.
Squad is like a 0 out of 5. Like it does not
Yeah.
rank. It is so
Well,
bad
no,
that
but
it.
0 out of 5 doesn't. You can't say 0 out of 5, right? It's not a.
No, it's not. I guess 1 out of 5.
Yeah,
But it's
I would give
so
it a 1 out
bad.
of 5, and I would
It's.
give Wonder Woman a 2 out of 5. Is how I would put it.
I
But I
don't think
think
it's
that two out of
serviceable.
five. But I think the 2 out of 5 might actually be worse than the 1 out of 5 in this case because of the expectations of the first Wonder Woman being a good, like, solid 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah.
You know, like the first Wonder Woman movie was fantastic. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. You know.
Yeah.
And it was a good, like, you had a really good female superhero movie, and like that's what you want. You want that. It's nice for, like, especially little girls to see a movie like that and really enjoy it. I know when my wife saw Wonder Woman, she was like, "Yes, finally, this is the kind of movie I wanted to watch as a girl,"
Yeah.
And I never
No,
had
but
the opportunity
it
to.
showed how awesome Wonder Woman was,
Exactly. It
Like
wasn't. Yeah, yeah.
you
Yeah, it's
didn't have to
awesome.
do anything to her other than show her character.
How
Like
awesome she is.
she's just an awesome
Exactly.
character.
Yeah, and they didn't exploit her character,
No.
It was great. It was great. But anyway, we've gone on a DC tangent for too long.
Yeah.
Um, gaming could fix this.
Yeah.
They could start a gaming DC universe, which I guess they're kind of trying, but it's not working.
No, they've been successful in their gaming attributes.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
the Batman games have all sold very well. People love them.
Mhm.
I mean, it's honestly that's
But they're
what is it?
doing the Justice League game and the
The
Suicide
Suicide Squad game
Squad game.
is,
It would
I
have
don't
been
know.
cool
Yeah.
if they tried to do like what Marvel did with the movies and did individual games, maybe smaller games for all the main characters, and then threw them together in a
Yeah.
Justice League game. But I hope something like that happens down the road, whether that be with Marvel or DC. It'd be cool to have a gaming version of that kind of cinematic universe for either DC or Marvel. And I think there's an opportunity to make that happen, and they could even do it, with smaller games. Like that's where something like a subscription service would be awesome. Imagine Microsoft actually owned WB games or something and had the license for that. They could do something like that. They can they can put smaller teams on a bunch of smaller, like, origin story type projects and then have it all kind of culminate into a big Justice League type of thing that they can then make as a games as a service kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be freaking cool. Love to see something like that. But anything else cool on your OLED?
I mean, like enjoying 120 modes in
Yeah.
games is really nice. Uh, I'll say like Sea of Thieves. So I turned on the 120 mode,
Mm-hmm.
and I've played it before. I played it on Jason's OLED, and it had more aliasing on it, but it was a 55-inch screen. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't notice it much on a 65-inch screen. So I actually prefer it
It
on a larger screen at
it also
120.
could be a settings. Maybe he's got his
Yeah,
sharpness turned up or something
I
like
don't
that.
know, but it kind of like pulled me a little bit. And I'm also sitting farther away from this. I'm sitting about 9 feet back from my
Oh
OLED,
yeah, pretty
so
big distance. Yeah.
it's not like I'm sitting on top of it. I mean, I'm sure if I'm not saying I can't see. There's definitely a difference between 4K and 1080. Like you can on
Mm-hmm.
certain ships, you can definitely see the details missing. Like
The clarity
anything, yeah,
you do get some clarity in motion because of the
you do,
120 at the same time. So, like, I prefer to play it at 120 when I
yeah.
play it.
But it's depending. I guess I think sailing. I think 4K is better because you're trying to look at seagulls and
Yeah.
clarity helps, and you're
Yeah,
not
seeing the
moving.
waves and stuff.
But the moment you're in close combat, changes everything, and you want to be in the 120 mode. Like you just want to
Mm-hmm.
be able to kind of spin quickly.
Yeah. It'd be cool if they added a kind of 120 mode that was dynamic resolution rather than locked 1080p, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Something that was a little bit higher and then dropped down with big action. be good for a game like that. Maybe we'll see that eventually. I don't know. I have a feeling like that game is eventually at some point going to get a big graphics redesign or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Especially if it keeps going, but we'll see. We'll see.
I'm trying to think, what else have I played? Only there was like an app on for Xbox that would tell
Like
me
these are the
specifically.
120 hertz games. Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
alone would be really fucking nice in the store if I could just choose 120. They have filters for almost everything else. But
There isn't a 120 filter. I thought
no.
there was. I guess there isn't. Huh?
Halo's fun at 120. I'll say that.
Yeah,
But
multiplayer. The 120 mode in single player is still kind of busted, I think.
yeah.
But
I was playing. There's a little judder in Call of Duty.
Yes.
Like it's not.
Warzone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
yeah.
annoying. Like to the point I was like, is this my TV? Oh no, this is Call of Duty. Damn you, Call of Duty. Damn you. But everything. What? Switch
Did you
looks
try
okay.
Dirt 5?
I downloaded. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
What was it?
Rocket League.
I tried Rocket League. That was fun. Nice and smooth.
Mm-hmm.
But on my PlayStation 5, I played. Well, I ended up buying. I bought Forbidden West. So I'm waiting for that to launch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I tried out some the 40 frames per second mode in Ratchet and Clank.
I
don't like
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like they taught like, and don't get me wrong. Like I'm not saying Digital Foundry said this is like the future or something, but they were kind of pushing for it a little bit.
So 40 frames or 45 or something.
40 because it splits
40?
into
Okay.
120. You know. So
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
So you don't get any screen tearing, but I know, like, I don't know. 60 still feels way better than 40.
I thought
Like,
so too. I tried
better.
it out in 40 and I was like, nah, I don't want to play it
I'll
this
take
way.
the ray tracing mode. The performance ray tracing mode at 60. That's where I'm at. Like it works.
Yeah, the motion blur wasn't good enough to play it at 40 for me.
It just felt weird. Like I felt like there should be frame tears. That's what I felt like playing at 40.
It still felt jerky
at
40. I don't know. Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be. I'm not a 120 snob like you, Vern. But not yet. Anyway,
I am a bit of a snob. I'll drop down to 900p at 120 if I have to.
Hey,
I like
Titanfall 2, by the way, even though it's like 872p, looks
that's
great.
Pretty rough. That's pretty rough.
It looks great at 120.
Yeah.
It really does.
Nice,
it surprisingly looks good at that resolution.
Yeah. Well, because the post-processing filter they have on it, it's
really good.
I think. Yeah. So success on the TV.
Yeah.
I like it. Been playing anything new? I haven't really touched much stuff new.
We ended up getting Dying Light 2, but I haven't put much time into it. Played the new Pokemon game, Serious. Still haven't put much time. I bought so many games. I just haven't had time to play them. Because we've been doing a lot of D&D.
Yeah, when I'm not playing, instead of playing games, I've been building the worlds. I've been Well, it's a lot of work to create one of these worlds as a dungeon master using Foundry. I have a lot of stuff to do.
Explaining, because I'm DMing a Waterdeep game, and I didn't mean it as like trying to be disrespectful, but I told one of the players, I was like, yeah, like I spent like an hour and a half working on a storyline y'all literally just walked the fuck away from.
It happens,
and she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, no, it was fun. Like y'all did what y'all wanted to do. Like that's the idea. And I'm gonna repurpose most of the stuff that I worked on and built for other things.
Use it in something else
all that's the work's not like it's completely dead, but yeah, like I totally spent, because they had like a couple different paths they could go through, and I really built up 2 different paths, and I figured they're going to choose one of these 2 because I'm going to kind of push them down that path a little bit. And they totally picked one path, and a lot of you look, I'm going to repurpose that shit because I ain't thinking all that crap again. Because I made them go to a pet shop, and I had like a million owls going all over the place, just flying. They're little like 1 foot tall, like, and they were just destroying this pet shop.
Mm-hmm.
And of course they walk in, and I wanted to see if they would attack the owls or do whatever. And
do something with them, yeah,
yeah,
interact.
they kind of just ran through them and got to the back, and a 6 foot owlin comes out and is just like, "Children, knock it off!" And then it was all the nieces and nephews of the owlin, and she told them to go home to their parents. But if they would have attacked them, I was gonna fucking lay waste with the family of owls.
Yeah,
and it would have been a funny, like, because they're in a pet shop. It's meant to kind of, and they didn't know what Allens were, so it was just one of those
right.
moments of like shock that,
And
yeah,
owlins are awesome.
yeah, they are.
Um,
I don't think they exist in Waterdeep.
they don't exist in what's the name of
They're doing my
the
campaign,
5e world? Is it
yeah,
Faerun? Yeah.
doing mine,
But yeah, they don't exist there. But I mean, you're the GM. You
yeah,
decide.
yep,
You're building the world. They play.
yeah,
But yeah, it takes a lot of work, especially when you're doing this a virtual tabletop. I mean, you're putting all these scenes together with fun lighting and picking music and picking sound effects and like, and it would be a situation where it'd be easy for a group to not even experience something you might have spent an hour or two working on. That happens all the time, but doesn't mean you can't use it again.
no. And
But,
the other thing is, and I know you know this, you'll spend, like, we played for 3.5 hours roughly.
For which
What you
when you
for
played
Waterdeep,
yesterday, you mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
And the stuff I spent hours on, all that stuff gets knocked out in like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. It's the
Right.
combat and everything else that takes the hours of like, what do y'all want to do? Oh, it's their conversation that takes up the time. But like when you present, hey, I have to think out these different decisions before you get there. Yeah, that's a 10-minute decision. It's like, oh, we're gonna go this way. We're gonna go do that, and that just cuts off what you've been working on, and then you're just like, okay, and then like,
or something you assume is only going to take 10 or 15 minutes takes 2 hours.
2
and you're
hours,
like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Did we spend an hour deciding what to do with that door?
Like, yep. Oh, I totally had that in one of my sessions on Waterdeep where they were under a cellar and it was just beer coming down, and they were like, "Can I do a perception check?" And I'm like, "Fuck, all right, you do it." Yeah, there's beer and people dancing and music, and I rolled a 2. Should I know all that? Yes, you will fucking clearly. This is the bar. And they just bullshit around under a bar for like an hour.
Yeah,
just waiting. Yeah. And it was just
like stuff like that happens.
Eventually, I was almost gonna just start sending monsters down at that point. It's just like, yeah, well, we're gonna move y'all along.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we'll definitely talk a little bit more about D&D toward the end of the show, so I want to talk a little bit about what's going to happen in the future. But did you play anything else? Anything on Game Pass? But some new stuff came on Game Pass that I played.
What'd you play?
Well, first off, not too long ago, I tried Dreamscaper. Did you try that one yet?
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good. It's from Freedom Games. That's an awesome name. But it's another roguelike. So if you're like into Hades or something like that, you might like it. I mean, the action isn't as fun as Hades, but it's a cool little roguelike game. So if you're into those kind of games, I definitely check it out. It looks nice, plays pretty well. And then I also tried. Oh, this game's awesome. Taiko no Tatsujin, the Drum Master.
Okay.
Play that one. It's like a drum rhythm game, and you just do either one drum, the other drum, or both at the same time, or doing like a drum roll on it, And it's from Namco, Bandai Namco. So it's got like all sorts of awesome anime music in it that you'd be familiar with, and video game music. So it's just a really fun little rhythm game. That's on Game Pass too. I'm having fun with it. And then finally, I tried Edge of Eternity, which is kind of a stinker, but I kind of liked it at the same time. I think it's from like a French development team or something called. Was it French? I don't know. I'll have to look them up. Dear Villagers is the name, and it's got a I don't know, the JRPG vibe to it is the best way to describe it. And I think they even got one of the old like Square Enix composers to work on the music for it. Yeah, it's a French development team. But I'm not sure who the composer is for Edge of Eternity, but the music's awesome. And the game's not like bad looking, but you can tell it's an indie studio working on an RPG that should be made by a studio that's probably 4 or 5 times the size of them to have it actually look like it should look, you know? So, I mean, it's my main issue with it, but it's pretty fun if you're into that kind of game. Might be worth checking out, but right from the beginning you're going to be like, "Oh, this game looks cheap." But give it a shot if you like those, turn-based RPGs, because it is turn-based. It's turn-based. It's like a 3D game in between fights, so you can control the camera with the right stick, just like you would with a first or third person shooter. But then once you get into combat, it's definitely like typical turn-based. The voice, the voice actors are not very good, or at least the whoever instructed them to do their jobs is not very good at it. So don't go in expecting like an amazing RPG, but it's a fun little game,
Cool.
But I haven't played much else. I haven't touched my Switch or my PlayStation in a while, Maybe I don't want to pre-order Horizon. I want to wait for reviews and probably wait for a sale. But you can get it for $60, right? I think if you if you get the PS4 version, it's a free upgrade to the PS5 version.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that. So, if you do get the game, definitely get the PS4 version and get the free upgrades, because it's easy to just spend $70 on the pre-order for the PS5 version. I think they're doing that on purpose to try to get an extra $10 out of people without them knowing. But I don't know. I don't know why I'm not excited about the new Horizon, which it's weird because I loved Zero Dawn. I thought Zero Dawn was awesome. But for some reason, the new one is not getting me hyped, and I don't know why. Did you finish the first one, Dustin?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? I didn't know you finished it. What'd you think of it?
It was good. Solid game.
Yeah. Nice.
Solid. But I know Jason enjoyed it a lot, so that's why I picked it up.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So, do we want to discuss the news that matters to us?
Yeah, Futurama's coming back. Hulu.
Were we recording
about
in the
voice
beginning
actors,
talking about that?
Is I don't think so. John DiMaggio was not brought back as Bender, and people are having a fucking fit. Yeah, there's a boycott right now from like pretty much every Futurama fan going, yeah, we won't watch this. You gotta, because all the original cast came back except for John DiMaggio, and it's pretty much it's a money problem. And it's like, yeah.
So did they already like make a bunch of episodes and stuff
not
without?
Yet. It's supposed to the first like sit down, walk through the episodes coming up, and they're still both trying to work out a deal.
So they actually have time to maybe get
fix
him
the situation.
in there.
Yeah, because the Futurama community is a big community and is not happy. Not happy at all.
Probably like one of those loud minority kind of communities, right? Like there's they're a minority. There's a lot of people who like Futurama, but
look, there's a reason they're reviving it for like the 5th time. Because people love the show and it has a dedicated fan base that will spend money on it. Like they definitely do. Like the reason the show came back
to whatever service does it. Yeah.
Yeah. And Disney could use the win. Because they own Hulu and it's coming to Hulu. Like, I don't know. Like, I want to see, because if you're in Europe, it's coming on Disney Plus, and if you're in the States, it's coming on Hulu.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer. They're not bringing it to Disney Plus in the US
right off the bat,
too. Yeah, they should bring it to both.
Yeah, you would think, but I don't know. They have to have a reason to sell you a Hulu subscription.
Kind of weird they have two, but I guess they can put stuff that isn't wholesome on
Hulu.
Yeah.
I guess it's a weird situation with those.
But isn't like The Simpsons or something on Disney Plus or something like that, or is it
Probably.
on Hulu? Or I don't remember. I remember seeing something
Look,
on
at the
Disney
end of the
Plus where I was
day,
like, really?
Disney owns it all.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of,
No,
yeah.
no, they literally they own Hulu. They own all of it. They own
They own ESPN, right?
yeah,
And ABC and.
but yeah, they own
Really?
Futurama. They own all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Disney, if you're smart, don't recast fucking Bender. Like that's people will not be happy. That's a don't. But I guess that's enough non-game news. I guess.
So in gaming news, I guess the big news this week was Microsoft saying that they're going to be releasing Call of Duty on PlayStation beyond the existing agreement and into the future. So it looks like their plans are officially to keep Call of Duty as a multi-platform franchise. Yeah. So, I mean,
It
I
makes
didn't
sense to
know.
me. Like
I didn't know which way it was going to go, but I can see why they're doing it.
Yeah.
You know,
To me, it is the Minecraft of shooters. Like it is just this.
yeah,
Thing. Yeah.
I think it's so big that they want to make sure everyone can play it.
Yeah.
You know,
but if you ask me if like Activision made a new franchise that had nothing to do with Call of Duty, like let's say they had another side project, I don't feel like you would get. I don't see it being a PlayStation game.
yeah, I think it's gonna be some will be exclusive, some won't. I think the same thing is gonna happen with Blizzard. Like, obviously, with this kind of decision, I would assume Diablo 4 will be multi-platform as well. Like, there'll probably be a PS5 version that comes out, not just a PS4 version, since that's what was announced. Like Overwatch 2, that's going to be on PS5, but maybe the new survival game they're working on, maybe that's one they won't put on PlayStation. So, but they also mentioned Switch as well. So maybe they're going to try to bring a Call of Duty to Switch. We'll see what happens. I don't know which one they'll bring out
The
there
mobile
and what
version
they'll
would
do.
make a lot of sense. Because
Yeah,
Call of
it'd be
Duty
interesting to
on
see.
phones is fucking massive. And people forget about that on console and PC, that these games are like the mobile market is so huge. And guess what? The Switch has a mobile processor ready to go.
Yeah.
Excited to launch Call of Duty. Why not? It's not, I don't know. I don't find the Switch comfortable to play shooters. And I know that's because
No.
I refuse to use fucking the motion controls.
Yeah. I don't like it either.
More power to you. I'm not against anybody doing this. I'm just not a fan. But yeah, it's a smart business decision in my mind. Because the first time I heard Activision Blizzard was being bought by Microsoft, like I was like, yeah, Call of Duty will remain everywhere.
I didn't know for sure, honestly, for me. Just because of what happened with Bethesda, I thought maybe there was a chance.
Oh no, I heard
we would
people
see a
like
shift.
explain why you wouldn't put them on other platforms. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense. I could see it going that way. But
I could really see it going either way. Yeah.
Like I don't. Yeah, when I first heard it, like first reaction, I was like, yeah, that'll be multiplayer because it just makes kind of sense.
Multiplat, yeah.
Yeah. So big,
but
like it makes sense.
I'm really curious 5 years from now where we're going to be with this kind of thing, and because the landscape's changing so quickly.
Halo, right?
No. It is funny that some people think that, but I guess that's what happens,
Yeah.
Did you know Microsoft thought they bought Donkey Kong when we got Rare?
When they bought Rare, like that. It was confusion, and
but
about the contracts.
There were executives that thought they bought Donkey Kong. You're like, no, you didn't.
That would have actually been, you pay an extra
buying
billion would have been.
You would have been buying Mario and essentially
at that time frame, because Donkey Kong was fucking massive.
No, but I mean, like, Mario is a character from the Donkey Kong franchise.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
First Donkey Kong game was Mario rescuing the princess
yeah.
from Donkey Kong. Yep. They're interlinked in a
They
way
wanted
that I
Donkey Kong
just
Country, and I can't blame him. Like that's where
no.
Donkey Kong really blew up, though, is when he got his own game
Oh yeah, on
on
Super
SNES.
Nintendo,
Yeah,
yeah, it's huge. Gosh, that VHS tape. I watched that
yeah,
VHS tape so much. Did you too?
of course.
I think we talked about this
Yeah,
before on
the
the
VHS
podcast.
tape
Yeah,
was fucking amazing, and then you got that
so
hint
good.
of Killer Instinct. We're working
Yeah,
something else, a little special thing.
and we were like, it's gonna be on the Ultra 64.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which then got named the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
Dumbest name change ever. Ultra 64 was the greatest name ever at the time it would have been released. Like now it sounds
In my
stupid.
child brain, it was
But
amazing.
but Ultra 64, it was like, and then it had you thinking of the Ultra Combo from Killer Instinct. Ultra, So, man, they really missed out on that. And that was at the time too when you were like, oh wait, the new Final Fantasy, that you saw some like leaks of the 3D shots,
Yeah.
on the new Nintendo hardware, and then the big thing happened. And PlayStation got Final Fantasy, and then everything changed after that, But man, that tape, that VHS tape, that's the shit, man.
It was
It's awesome.
It was like and it was so how did I don't even remember how I got it. I just remember getting it.
I got it in the mail because I was a Nintendo Power subscription.
That's what it must have been. I must have had a Nintendo Power subscription.
Yeah, if you had a Nintendo Power subscription, I think they just sent that tape. And
it was a
amazing.
lot of money, you think, back in the day to send a bunch of children tapes.
You know what though? It was smart, man. They probably made so much money because they did that. Like that was the time when, you couldn't just throw something on the internet. Yeah.
You don't know. It was a documentary on how they made Donkey Kong Country. And it was this awesome,
which was a big deal at the time because they used 3D graphics to make the renders, for the characters. So, and it was a way to make the Super Nintendo look like it wasn't
and
a
it
piece
really
of
pushed
hardware.
Music score a lot in games.
Oh yeah, the music was great. But this was at the time when, PlayStation and the Nintendo 64 and the Sega Saturn were just all around the corner,
Yeah.
So when that VHS came out, I think it was Jeff Gerstmann was talking about this. He said when he saw it, he was like, "Yeah, man, screw next gen. We're in next gen now." He was kind of right. Like the graphics looked so good at the time that you were like, "Well, I don't need a new console. What's the point?"
And 3D
this is awesome.
honestly didn't look as good as 2D sprites. Like
yeah. So when you had like a cool combination,
don't get me wrong, there is some great things on N64, and I think it's honestly when people, I think now people underrate how awesome that console was. Yes, they remember PlayStation.
It was so blurry, man.
It was blurry, so blurry. But like you had GoldenEye, you had Zelda, you had so many hit games on 64.
Well, Smash Brothers was huge,
like it was. You had Perfect Dark. You had so much.
Well, Rare was a beast on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
They released so many games for it in such a short period of time. Because that was at the time when Rare had like 4 or 5 different teams working on projects. They'd had 8 or 9 people working on one game, 11 or 12 on another. They didn't need these giant,
100%.
teams to make these games. So, they put out like
so many. Rare's doing 3 games at a time. Sometimes without directors of those games.
They're pretty much doing one game at a time right now. That's like Sea of Thieves still. Yeah, we'll see.
Everwild. I'm curious if it gets canned at this point.
If they have to, can it. Work on something else, man. Yeah. I mean, give us Banjo. Not that I like Banjo, but it seems like everyone wants Banjo at this point. Yeah. It just needs to happen.
No, but I think Banjo... Don't do... Rare... I'm sorry. Rare shouldn't do Banjo. Rare is not the Banjo fucking team. They're literally buying somebody right now. That would be
Toys
perfect.
For Bob, yeah.
Yeah. Toys for Bob. Do Banjo. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
People would love it. I think Toys for Bob has the pedigree to do Banjo justice.
Do it well, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And it would make sense. You could tie Banjo, Crash, and Spyro all into a game.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually be down to see Toys for Bob make the Microsoft Kart Racer. I think it has to happen.
Yeah.
There has to be some form of way to join IPs. Like Microsoft at this point has too many. to ignore them. Like it's even if they just did one character per studio, that'd be a 32-person lineup in a fucking battle royale. Like you could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
All right. What else did we have to talk about? Telltale
Well, this
games.
big one for you.
Wolf Among
Yeah,
Us
man.
2 trailer looked pretty badass.
2023 release finally has a sort of window. A sort of window. A year window.
Who did they show? It was somebody. I'm trying to remember the trailer now.
Well, it takes place 6 months after the end of the original game.
Because they showed off kind of a villain. I'm trying to remember who it was. Who is it? I'm watching the trailer right now. I'm being very bad podcaster.
Well, I can say a few things from this article. You can expect to see returning characters, including Snow White,
your boss,
the now deputy mayor of Fabletown after the events of the first game, with Adam Harrington and Aaron Yvette are reprising their roles as Bigby and Snow White, respectively. Buffkin, the flying monkey from Wizard of Oz, is back, and the developer is it's co-developed by Ad Hoc Studio, which is apparently made of about 50% of former Telltale employees. So these are people that worked on the first game.
But yeah, it is the Wizard, like the Wizard of Oz character. Like you had Tin Man in the trailer, and all those, like the Scarecrow, are in the trailer for Wolf Among Us 2. So they look pretty cool.
It's shifting to Unreal Engine, so that is a good thing. It isn't the Telltale engine. So
thankfully, that's the first thing I thought of when I saw that. I was like, we're gonna use the Telltale engine.
No, it isn't. So like it's a full sequel. Unreal Engine. It should look good. Seems like the art style's holding up while the game looks better. I always liked the art style for it. I thought it looked great.
That game in particular, it works.
Yeah,
everything Telltale has done has worked as well.
Yeah, but when a game is kind of film noir, like Wolf Among Us,
looks a lot more
those
like the
inky blacks look nice. You know, like the kind of sketchy drawing kind of look.
I guess I can replay on my OLED now.
Oh yeah, that'll look great on your OLED actually.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll look great on your OLED.
Might have to play this.
Yeah, 2023. That matters to Dustin especially. He's a big fan of the first game.
Yeah, I've played through it probably 4 or 5 times.
Well, that's your favorite Telltale game, right?
Yeah, I'd argue it's the best Telltale game.
My favorite.
And I think Walking Dead is fucking phenomenal.
I put Walking Dead Season 1 as like my favorite. After that, I'd probably put Tales from the Borderlands. I loved Tales from the Borderlands. Loved it, God. I was laughing my ass off that entire game. Like every episode. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
I like I think you're more into drama. I think Wolf Among Us pulls ahead of of those games, but I see it. I see why, like, because we played all of them for the most part.
Yeah. The only one
I like the detective thing.
I didn't finish 2. I didn't finish 2 of the 3. I didn't play Jurassic Park because I just didn't care.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't play that one.
I didn't finish Guardians of the Galaxy. I just didn't like it. And then I also never finished the Minecraft one.
Yeah, I didn't finish the second season of Minecraft. I did the first one and it was fine. But I don't know. It was just too much for kids.
I played through all of Walking Dead, of course, So that was a big one for me. Did you ever finish it?
Nope. I still got to go back and finish the last 2 episodes.
Because
I remember they canceled it, and then we'd been talking, and then I just have never been able to.
You should go back to it. It's worth finishing out, and it is a satisfying ending. For anyone who hasn't played it, I would still recommend playing through the entire series. It's good. I think the 3rd season's the weakest one because it pulls away from characters that were in the other seasons. Not entirely, but quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the first 2 seasons and the last season are pretty fantastic. Kind of loses its way in the 2nd season, but it gets there again. I enjoyed it overall. And if you haven't played the Sam and Max games, they're fantastic. I love the Sam and Max games. And I also loved the uh, Monkey Island Telltale series. That one is really, really good. I'd love to see that one actually get a remake. You know how because they've actually remade the first two seasons of Sam and Max, playable on Xbox now.
Yeah.
For the new consoles, which is really nice and worth
Do you think
picking
they're
up.
gonna do just a whole new Monkey Island game? Because they
They don't have the
definitely
rights.
hinted.
I don't think they have the rights for it because it was a LucasArts game, and then when LucasArts was canned,
I'm just saying the
now
Sea of
it's
Thieves reference was fairly fucking strong.
well because Disney owns it.
Yeah,
Disney owns Monkey Island, and since
I'd be
the
curious
since
if
the Monkey Island reference was in the
Pirate's
Disney
Life. Yeah,
Pirates of the Caribbean, yeah, I think that's how they're able to do it.
but you know
So
what? I could see them collabing for a game,
I love it
especially if Disney.
if they.
If Disney's going to do like an attraction, I could like a park attraction. They could line it up
Mhm.
with that because I think that's Disney's. I think
I
Disney
would
really
love it.
enjoyed, and I thought I bet Disney made out on a Pirate's Life because it did. There's no way Disney got screwed on that deal. Like they probably got
I'd love a new
100% of
Monkey Island
DLC.
though. I
I'm
think the
sure
best
they
thing to do would be
not
is
having
if
to own a developer. If all they have to do is go like, okay, we got the IP, make the game, Microsoft.
yeah, but it would yeah, exactly. They should collaborate with Double Fine.
Yeah,
I would love to see Disney collaborate with Double Fine and just make another Monkey Island, 'Cause I love Monkey Island. I've played all those games from start to finish. They're great. They're dated now. I mean, if you're not into point and click adventure games, you're not gonna like them. Even the Telltale one is not. It's not like what you're used to playing. It's not like Walking Dead where there's no puzzles really. Um, it's a lot of puzzles in the Telltale Monkey Island. So uh, it's great though. I'd love to see it come back. All right, next on the news that matters
Mario
to
Kart.
us. Yeah, Mario Kart is back
Look, we were
in the
talking about it
news.
because there was a rumor that it might be a new Mario Kart because it's been a long time. It's been like this is it's kind of even for Nintendo. It's been a long time since a new Mario Kart came out. Well, guess what? A new Mario Kart is not coming out.
Well, I was saying it just doesn't make sense to make a new one because like the Switch isn't gonna be able to make the graphics good enough
No.
to make a big change. I think the next Nintendo console would make more sense to do a new Mario Kart.
Yep.
But what we got instead is I think fits better.
Yeah.
And that is that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is getting 48 remastered classic courses from previous games.
Yeah. That's
And it was
massive.
like it's like $24.99, I think, right?
Yeah, it's
Something like
cheap.
that.
It's not expensive at all.
Or if you get the expansion, the Nintendo Online expansion, which includes the N64 games, the Sega Genesis games, and the Animal Crossing expansion, you get it as part of that subscription. So now that expansion subscription is starting to look pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's not too much more, but you're getting, the Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, and Genesis and N64 games. So like they're adding value to it in a good way, I think. And I hopefully we get some of those awesome like classic battle mode maps too, So
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think that's great. I'm gonna come back to Mario Kart 8 now. Did they ever fix the online? Because I remember the online was just kind of pretty weak, wasn't it?
They can't fix the online. Switch is broken
Oh
online wise. Like
man, that's a bummer because like I would love to get together with some friends and play some battle mode.
because the
I
only real
love
way to
battle mode.
play it is to play with
Other friends, yeah,
in person.
yeah,
And I'm not trying to hate on the Switch. I really am not. But when you create a platform that has a weak Wi-Fi chip in it,
yeah,
and make
yeah.
it independent on the players to have great connections. Smash Brothers broken for that reason. Any online games just not you can't trust it. It's not like PlayStation or Xbox where the
Yeah,
Wi-Fi, you're going to have some people with issues with Wi-Fi, but for the most part people have an Ethernet cord or they have a decent Wi-Fi connection and they're fine. Switch, I still don't have I still haven't bought an adapter to hook up an Ethernet port to my Switch.
mhm.
And the reason I haven't done it is because even if I did, 99% of the people don't have it. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
still going to lag anyway. The only plus is I could download stuff faster. And that's it, you know?
But yeah, I think it's cool news. Hopefully, next gen, we get real good online play for the Switch. Because I would play these games online. I would if they ran well. And I know you would too, Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
We would have a good time playing this stuff together. So I want them to get it together. Speaking of other online games, I guess not that big of a story. It's a game I'm waiting for to be finished because I really liked what I played of it so far, but I'm waiting for the story mode to come out before I really put a lot of time into it, and that's Grounded. But it's already reached 10 million players, which is nuts. I'm really surprised. That's a great number for this game. So, yeah, it's another one of those, I guess, Game Pass retention kind of games.
But
Just
it's
like
also another game that Microsoft allowed a developer to develop that wasn't their wheelhouse, you know?
yeah, I mean,
that
like,
kind of took off, and it's a project that the team wanted to do. They had an idea, they
right.
know what they wanted to make.
And that's a real hit or miss kind
Yeah.
of thing because for every Grounded, you have a what's that game from Ninja Theory? Oh, I can't think of the name of it
Yeah, the
now.
fighting game. It felt like a version of Overwatch. It sucked.
Oh, I can't. I love see the fact that I can't even remember the name of the game. That's what is a problem, right?
Yeah.
I gotta find out now. For some reason, I just can't think of Bleeding Edge.
Yeah.
Bleeding Edge. That's it. So for every grounded, you have a Bleeding Edge. But I'd rather them get to make the games they want.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big story, and then I mean we're not gonna really talk about it much, but the new hot right now seems to be Lost Ark. It's a sort of MMO like Diablo style game, so you point and click to do character movement, but I think there is a gamepad function on it for PC, so it's something they could bring to console eventually. It's a game that was big in South Korea for a while and finally got released here in the US, and Amazon's publishing it. And this game it's taken off. It is huge. Already has the fifth largest Steam concurrent record ever. Over 1 million people were playing it at once, I think, at one point. Which is absolutely insane for a game like this. They've had to make a whole bunch of new servers. All the servers are full right now. So, my wife loves it. Our friend Dan, loves it a lot too. I know a lot of people have been really into it. So I guess I'm going to have to get around to it at some point. Are you going to try it, Dustin?
At some point.
I know there's so much other stuff to do. I got to get ready for
I already bought a bunch
our
of
Zero
shit.
session.
Yeah.
I got a lot to do for that, man. It's going to be a pain in the butt, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So I guess we can talk about it. We are going to stream our Zero session of Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. We're gonna be doing this on Wednesdays. I'm not sure what the stream start time will be. Probably, I would guess, like what 6:30.
Yeah, we wanted to do around 6. That way people could get off at a
6:30.
reasonable time.
Yeah,
and not be like, I got to go straight to bed and I got to go do. It's like I don't want to do that.
I'd like to start it at 6. But I have a feeling we're gonna get started and people are gonna roll in and it's gonna take some time. So maybe the stream won't start to 6:15, 6:30. But I have to do some work as far as setting things up.
I want to keep it to like 2-hour streams, maybe 3.
Man, I'd like to do 3 if we can. Yeah.
No, I don't mind 3, but I'd like to
Yeah.
aim for 2 and hit 3.
Yeah.
That's because if I aim for 3, it's like, well, we could just get through this a little bit more. It's like, I don't want to hit 4.
I think once it hits 2 hours, we kind of finish up what we need to finish up.
We try
That's
to
how we need to look at it.
And then, you as being the DM, you can gauge where we're at.
At the same time, it'd be nice to get a 3-hour stream in, you know? It's like, I think it takes a good 3 hours to get a lot done, you know? And this is a big campaign. I think it goes level 1 to 12. It takes place in Icewind Dale, mainly around the 10 towns, which are essentially the 10 towns or a group of towns when connected are roughly the size of a big city. That's the idea. None of them are cities, but together they're kind of a force to be reckoned with is the idea. There's like a council and each town has like a representative and they all meet, once a month and whatnot. So it's a pretty big area with a lot of wilderness to explore, and it can kind of go anywhere because like you pick a starting town and then you can go to any other of the 9 towns to explore and get quests, and eventually it all comes together in one big storyline. I mean, the basic idea is that there's in Icewind Dale, the sun is not rising anymore. It's like everlasting winter for a couple of years, and the heroes are there to kind of figure out what's causing this and try to see if they can either end it or I don't know, maybe they want it to be winter. We'll see. We'll see where it all goes. But I think it's going to be a fun campaign. It's going to be a very dangerous campaign for our players. So I'm not hoping for, but it'd be kind of cool to see some player deaths and how people react to that or whatnot. So I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. But our plan is to start it around Wednesdays at what we said 6 p.m. Eastern, right? Or is it 7 p.m. Eastern? I don't remember. Which one are we shooting for, Dustin?
Probably 7 Eastern.
7 Eastern, yeah. It'd be 6 my time, yeah. So 7.
Yeah.
7 p.m. Yeah, 7 Eastern. 7 Eastern is what we're shooting for. Yeah, that's
but
right.
I'd like to, like I said, I don't want people, because I live on the East Coast, and normally I would have to be at work at 5 in the morning the next day.
Yeah, so we don't want to go past 10.
I don't want to go. Yeah,
we don't want to go past 10. Yeah. So the streams could be 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2 hours and 45 minutes, probably.
Figure 2 to 3 hours is what we're planning.
And if it is over 3 hours, it could be just a hair over 3 hours, and we're not going for 4 hours. It's just not happening. That's too much. That's too much D&D for me. Some people do that too. They'll go 4 or 5 hours, and it's like, oh man, that could be fun. I guess like on a Saturday during the day or a Sunday during the day if you get everyone together and take a bunch of breaks and drink lots of beer and eat lots of fun food, and then it could be you make an experience out of it, kind of like when you watch a football game or a basketball game with friends, But like the one we're not watching right now.
Yeah, Super Bowl is ongoing as of right now.
Yeah,
I have no idea what the score is.
I think it's 7-0. I think currently the Rams may be winning. Let me take a quick look. Anything else you want to talk about though, Dustin?
No,
7-0.
I think we
Rams are up.
We've kind of covered everything for this week.
Anyway, tune in Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be streaming, I guess, on Twitch and YouTube, just like we're doing now is the plan. I'll be streaming from my PC, so I got a little work to do to figure this out.
Yeah, no, I figured we're going to just do it all in the same podcast feed.
Oh, we are?
So,
okay.
Yeah, and that way people can enjoy it that way. And they don't have to subscribe to another channel. So I'm going to take the table off of the website, and everything will just be under the podcast. Or
Let's Play Already podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But we can make 2 separate playlists, right? Like on YouTube or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
YouTube will have 2 separate playlists. The podcast upload, the RSS for that will have both.
Right.
Unless, write it in if you don't like it that way. We could do something else, but I just think it's easier that way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but until next time, I guess we'll see you next Sunday.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll catch you later.
All right.
All right, and thanks for watching the stream. Peace.
Who is Ravi VOMRED?